And so why would you depend on someone who is just like you to tell you who you are? We respect, encourage, and are kind to everybody else but ourselves. My point is that the moment we stop believing in ourselves, we give other people the power and authority to tell us who we are. You cannot put your absolute trust in people and then not trust yourself. Hey loves, welcome. I'm Franca and I love talking about feminine self-improvement. So let's talk about self-validation, because this year we are not leaving our self-concept in the hands of anybody. We are prioritizing growth over approval, and that is period. We are learning to love and respect ourselves and confidently trust in our decisions without any fear of rejection. And so stick around, because I am gonna show you how to master the art of self-validation. Now, first of all, we've all sought validation in one form or the other. It could be emotionally, from family, social media, school, or even from a love partner. And that's why it's important to master this skill, because the fact that you have to depend on someone to make you feel a certain way is making you look small. You're not only allowing your emotions to be detected by people's opinion, but you're telling yourself that I do not trust myself enough to believe in my own opinion about myself. Girl, what are you doing to yourself? And that's why it's important that we go back to the drawing board and start with. We've been groomed from childhood to put other people's opinion on a pedestal so high above ours. We always have to call this auntie and ask this uncle if our dress was well fitting, because we did not believe that we could make the right decisions. And so now that we are even adults, we constantly have to bend backwards so we could get approval, because we did not believe in ourselves. And the harmful part is that our self-belief keeps fluctuating to match the pattern of validation that we get. The more validation we get, the more we think we are enough, and the times that we do not get that validation, we end up in this vicious cycle of emotional highs and lows instead of making ourselves the source of validation. My point is that the moment we stop believing in ourselves, we give other people the power and authority to tell us who we are, what to feel, or how much value we have. But we need to believe that we have so much inherent value by just the fact that we are alive. All humans have equal, unchanging, inherent value in the sight of God. And so why would you depend on someone who is just like you to tell you who you are? Belief in yourself is the foundation of everything, because if you believe in yourself, you give yourself the opportunity to allow the things that are meant to hurt you build you up instead. You continue to look out for people or depend on external situations to give you the push you need in everything, they will end up taking the center stage of your life. But sis, you need to give yourself the permission to take up all the space you can find in your life and show up for yourself. Because those people that you keep calling for reassurance are just like you. The only difference is that you chose to believe the things they tell you about yourself. So why wouldn't you do that for yourself? Conversating with and observing ourselves is very important, because that is how we get to establish self-awareness. That is how we get to understand ourselves. But most of us have very toxic relationship with ourselves. We respect, encourage, and are kind to everybody else but ourselves. We are so hard on ourselves and would often think negative things about ourselves that we forget that whatever we put out there is as a result of what we're thinking about ourselves. If you can accurately see all the negative things about yourself, then why don't you use the same energy to see how lovely, kind, and beautiful you are? No matter how ugly you think you are, babe, I'm here to tell you the complete opposite. You're gorgeous, you're beautiful. In fact, you are a goddess, and you better start believing it, because otherwise you are gonna have to call people every single day for reassurance. You need to be grateful for whom you are, because girl, look at you. Look at how beautiful you are. You think that you're bad? No, you are a masterpiece. Stop thinking that you are a poor decision maker, and so you have to constantly keep calling people to tell you what to do, because the people that you keep calling for reassurance equally feel insecure at times, but they do not go about looking like their journeys and their problems. The journey might be ugly, the problems might be huge, but you need to dress up, boss up, show up, and talk about yourself like a queen, because that is whom you are. You constantly have to call people to tell you what you do, because you do not know whom you are. Because if you know whom you are, you will not be conforming to people's perception about you. And you need to be mindful about the thought that you think about yourself, because that feeds to self-perception and self-belief. And those two are the foundation of your self-identity. So in the instance of male-female relationships, we tend to give the opposite sex all the attention that we forget to create and nurture relationships with ourselves and other women. But by doing that, you are brushing aside whom you are meant to be and basically living off the feelings that this person feeds you. It becomes very difficult to love, trust, and respect yourself if you constantly have to live off what other people tell you about yourself. That's why it's important that you shift your focus from external to internal validation, because you know yourself best. At the end of the day, you are going to be the only person who will be by your side after everyone else is gone. And so it is important that you establish a relationship with yourself, because that will make it easier for you to be strong should you start feeling insecure. Because 30 days in a row, we women feel insecure about ourselves, especially during our period. And so will you keep going to your partner every single day for him to make you feel secure? No. You need to be able to do that for yourself. Next step is to get clear. So before you reach out to somebody else to tell you what to do, be clear. What is it that you want from them? What is it that you want them to tell you? What feeling is it that you want them to make you feel? Can't you give that to yourself? Because the only difference is that you are going to believe what they will say. But have you tried believing yourself about the things you say to yourself? Because if you do not believe it, it will not mean anything. You have to believe that whatever emotions that you're seeking from the other person, whatever kind of feeling you want to feel, whatever kind of thing you want to hear from them, it's already within you, and you can give that to yourself. You have to program yourself to be able to ask from yourself and receive from yourself and be proud of yourself. Because the only person who would not neglect you is yourself. All other forms of validation will leave us based on the circumstances. And that is why it's very good to make yourself the source of validation. A matter of fact is that we hold ourselves back every single time we fail to ask ourselves if we can give this to ourselves. Whatever feeling that we are looking from other people, we can give to ourselves. There are times that we genuinely would need a second opinion, but that doesn't mean that we should make others the solution every single time. You need to realize that you have absolute control over how you feel, and so do not need to constantly call people. If you think you cannot trust yourself, you can pray about it, because God wants us to believe in ourselves. God wants us to know that He has given us all things. And we do not need trust in human beings, because you don't know how much people hate progress. You don't know how much somebody is waiting to make you fall. You cannot put your absolute trust in people and then not trust yourself. Trust God, trust yourself, and get clear on what feelings you are looking for, babes. You need to realize that you have absolute control over how you feel, and so you do not need to keep calling people every single time. If you think you cannot trust yourself, then trust God. So you may think that you're just calling the girls to tell you what you wear, you're just calling the girls to give you an information, but you have no idea how much your progress is making someone feel left out. And so it'll be good for you to keep things to yourself. It'll be good for you to pray about things. It'll be good for you to trust in your own opinion about yourself, ladies. All this sums up to stepping into your feminine energy. All this comes down to activating your femininity. And so if you want to learn how to step into your femininity and become the woman of your dreams, watch this playlist here, and I'll see you there.